everyone, how you doing today? Thanks for stopping by to check out my video. My name's Eric, and on this episode of Smo'King, I'm going to make some French dip sandwiches, specifically smoked French dip sandwiches. If you never tried it this way, boy, you're in for a special treat. Very easy ingredients: some sweet onions, some Au Jus mix, salt and pepper, some Worcestershire sauce, and of course, you need a nice beef roast. So let me show you how to do this step by step, and I guarantee you're going to have one of the most delicious tasting sandwiches you've ever had. So let's get cooking. So the first thing you want to do is take it out of the package. You want to rinse it off with water, dry it with a paper towel. Now you want to get a beef roast, either an eye of the round top roast or a bottom roast, a top sirloin roast. They call it different things, but basically it's a very lean piece of meat with very little fat. This piece I got from Sam's Club is pretty well trimmed, but feel free to take off any big clumps of fat or some silver skin. And I'm going to keep this super basic. We're just going to put some Worcestershire sauce on top of it, just to kind of serve as a base for our salt and pepper seasonings. Just like that. And then we're just going to sprinkle it with salt and pepper. You guys know how this works. I also want to give a shout out to Malcolm Reed from his YouTube channel, How to Barbecue Right. That's where I got this recipe, so I wanted to definitely give credit where credit is due. I'll leave a link below to his YouTube channel. If you haven't heard of him or checked out his videos, I definitely recommend him. He's a great guy. Get lots of inspiration and ideas from him. So that's it, you know. We're just going to repeat the other side here. Make sure to get the sides. And once I'm all done seasoning this, I'm going to go fire up my pit barrel cooker. Now you can make this on any type of smoker. You can make it on a Weber grill, whatever you want. The main thing is you want to remove it from the grill no more than, say, 135, 140 degrees. This is a very lean piece of meat, and because of that, you don't want to overcook it, because if you overcook it, it's going to turn into shoe leather, you know, and we don't want that for our French dip sandwiches. So I'm going to finish seasoning this up, get the sides. I'm going to go fire that up. We'll be back in 1 second. So this is how it should look like when you're all done seasoning it. I'm doing it on my pit barrel cooker, and I was debating whether or not to just put it on the grate like a traditional barbecue grill. But you know what? I think I'm going to hang it. I love the whole idea of hanging your food. So I'm going to put a hook in each side here. I'm going to try to go down as much as I can. Yeah, probably somewhere in the middle would be good. And then kind of tilt it upward. Like that. Now I was telling you, you can cook this on any type of grill, which is true. If you're cooking on a traditional grill, you know, the pit barrel typically runs between 275 and 310 degrees. So, you know, I would say around 275 would be a good thing to set it at. I'm gonna hang it just like that. Look at how beautiful that looks. I'm guessing to bring it up to around 130, 135, that's when I'm gonna pull it out. I'm guessing this should take no more, I mean, on the low end, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, all the way up to maybe 2 hours. If it goes longer than 2 hours, I'll really be surprised. So I'm gonna just let this sit here at room temperature. I just fired up my my charcoal in the starter. We should be ready to get this thing on the grill here in probably around 15-20 minutes. So we'll be back. I'll show you how to do that. All right, my coals are all ready to go. So we're gonna put them in here, a little bit on each side. Get this fire going here. There we go. I'm just going to let it sit like this for probably another 10-15 minutes, and I'll get out here and get these hooked on those rebarbs, and we'll be well on our way. We'll be back in a second. Alright, I put the coals on there. They've been going for a good 10 minutes. They look good. I got some hickory wood chips that I have soaked here in some warm water. I'm going to put a little bit on it because I want to get a little bit of smoke flaring, hence the name Smoked French Dip. We don't need too much. This isn't going to be that long of a cook, but these chips sometimes burn quickly, so I'm going to put a couple good handfuls in. There we go. And I better put one of these gloves on to make sure I don't burn myself in the process. Alright. Let's see, how am I going to do this here? Got that one hooked. I think we got it. Just going to try to center it a little bit. I think that'll do perfectly. Well, there you go. We'll set the timer here. I'm going to put a probe in kind of the thickest part here. Like I said, we're going for like 130. Okay, there we go. We got that in. Now we cover it up. Now comes the hardest part. We just have to wait. Like I said, probably going to take an hour, anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. Just show you guys here the oven right now, where I got one just in the pit barrel. It's 172, but it's climbing, and I got my alarm to go off at 130, and right now the meat's reading at 52. So I'll just keep this going. I'm going to go inside, have a beer, and we're going to start prepping some onions for the Au Jus. So I'll meet you guys inside. Alright, the hard part is done. Now the time to relax and wait for the food to get ready. Today I'm trying Stella Artois? I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. I just always call it Stella, just like my dad. My dad's the one that first turned me on to this. I think we met in Vegas, and he ordered me a Stella from the bar. So I said, okay. It's a Belgian beer, and it's very good. I mean, as far as a generic beer, it's nothing fancy, but it's very good for what it's trying to be, which is just a good tasting beer for the everyday, person. It's not trying to be too complicated, too complex, pretty straightforward. It's made in Belgium, 5% alcohol. You can see it's a nice golden color, nice head. I actually have this nice Stella glass. I got this at Sam's Club a couple years ago for Christmas. There was a lady there giving the glasses out if you bought a case. So I bought a case and I got a free glass. So cheers, guys. Thanks for watching my video. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, it's good. It's almost perfect. It's like if you wanted a perfect beer, an everyday beer, nothing too strong. I mean, it's not too complex. You can taste the wheat, the barley, the hops. Nothing's overwhelming or too powerful. It's just a good, refreshing beer, particularly in the summertime. If you're looking for something light that's going to appeal to a wide variety of people, this is probably a very good choice. Ah, it tastes good. I was getting a little warm out there. It's very refreshing. I like it very much. So, let's see here. 283 is the temperature of the pit barrel, and the meat's at 62 degrees. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut up these 3 sweet onions. I'm going to put them in this pan, and I'm going to make some Au Jus. I'm going to mix a couple cups of water with this whole thing of Johnny's French dip. This is what Malcolm Reed uses. I looked it up on Amazon. Read some, almost everyone gave it a very favorable review. It's available at every supermarket. I went online to check where can I get it because I never heard of it before. They sell it all in local markets here. So I was like, oh, it's got to be pretty good then. So I picked it up. And what I'm going to do is that meat, when we take it off, it's going to have to rest covered in foil for a minimum of a half hour. So while it's resting inside, letting all those juices kind of soak up in the meat, I'm going to go and put this on the grate, on the pit barrel, the onions and the Au Jus, and just, first I'm going to do the onions and let them kind of sweat a little bit with some salt and pepper and olive oil. And then once they're nice and soft, I'm going to add the gravy, the Au Jus mix in the water, stir it up, and then I'm going to put a cover on it. And I'm just going to let it sit out there till we're ready to slice this super thin and make our French dip sandwiches. So in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy this beer. I'll see you back in a little bit, the next step. Again, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Cheers. So here you go, guys. I cut 2 onions. They were small onions. I thought 3, but you know what? I don't want to overcrowd this pan because this is where we're going to make that Au Jus, which is critical for a French dip. So like I mentioned earlier, the stuff I'm using is this Johnny's French dip. Now, if you don't have this, Don't worry, you can use beef stock, you can use beef bouillon cubes, you can get the little Au Jus packets, I'm sure, at your local grocery stores. Just add water. Be creative. You just want to make some gravy. I put a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in here, just like a dash, some salt and pepper, and cut these onions and mix it up. And as soon as that beef roast is ready, we're going to put this in the pit barrel on the grate for around 20 minutes, and then I'm going to cover it. Like I said, it's going to be delicious. So right now it's reading 91 degrees. It's climbed up a little bit because I just opened the lid to check on it. That I put a few more wood chips on there, so it climbed up to 308. But yeah, perfect. We got a little ways to go, so we'll see you in a little bit. Bye. All right, you know, guys, I'm really surprised. It's right now 2 hours, and it still hasn't hit 130. It's at 123. Let me do a spot check here, because I'm starting to think my thermometer might be off. Let's see. Oh, this isn't even hitting. This says 117. This one says 123. So the coals are still going good. It's getting a nice little color on it, nice bark. I'm actually surprised. 2 hours. Well, you know what? So be it. I'll keep monitoring it. It's probably going to be coming off, I would guess, in the next 20 minutes to half hour tops. It's probably going to hit that 130 pretty fast here. But you know what? Sometimes, depending on the piece of meat, things cook differently than you expect, so no worries. We'll be back shortly when this is hitting 130 and we're ready to pull it in. Alright, here we are, 20 minutes later. It just beeped, so let's check it out here. We'll do a couple spot checks. Make sure we're okay. Oh, 129, 29.4, 29.6, 0.7, 120, oh, 129.9, boom, we hit the 130. Let's try one more. I don't want to cook it too much because it's still going to rise in temperature. Tent it in foil for at least a half hour. I'm probably going to go 45 minutes to an hour just because I got to get the kids to bed and everything. 127.8. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to leave the lid off now, get that temperature up just for another 5 minutes or so. I'm going to spot check it in a couple places. When I get a 130 consistency all the way around, I'll be pulling this off. So I'll meet you guys out here once that happens, and I'm ready to put the onions on. Alright, I have the onions with the olive oil, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, salt and pepper, whoops, in the pan. The fire's kicked up a little bit. I'm just going to put the cover on it. We're going to let it go like 20 minutes. I'm just going to keep those in there, get them reduced down. We'll see in a little bit. Alright, it's been around 20 minutes. Man, it got dark quick, but we're in October. I should have started earlier. Oh, it's looking good. The onions have reduced a little bit, but not too drastically. This is just how we want them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour in that full bottle of that French dip mix. I hope this is as good as what I've heard. It looks good. Okay, and then 2 cups of water. And I made it warm just to kind of help the process here. And we want to stir it real good. And these coals are blaring. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a cover on this so it doesn't reduce down too much. I just want to keep it nice and warm. Just like that. Alright. You know what? I'm going to put the bars in just to maintain. I don't need to make it super hot, and if I don't put these bars in, these coals are going to get hotter than I think I need it to be. So there you go. I'll leave this on there I'll see you inside when we're ready to slice into that. Alright guys, there you go. It's still warm. I just took the foil tent off it. Gonna slice into this, but boy, it looks good. Just want to do a close-up shot before we slice into it. Let's get busy. So I wish I had a meat slicer, but I don't, so I gotta resort to my trusty knife. I'm gonna try to slice as thin as possible, which is sometimes could be easier said than done. Oh, it looks good. You don't have to worry if you cooked it a little rare, because we're going to put it in that hot Au Jus, and that's going to cook it a little bit before we put it on the sandwiches. Alright, look at this. See that, boy? Ooh, looks good. Alright, let me continue slicing. I'll be back in a second when I got more of this laid out. Alright, here you go guys. I just sliced it real thin. Just wanted to put it out so you guys can see it. Perfectly medium rare. I have to admit I've already had a slice, so it's my wife. And yeah, absolutely delicious. Definitely smoky flavor. Ooh, I can't wait to put this on the sandwich. Let me show you what we do next. Alright, here we are. I took the Au Jus off. You can see it's steaming. It's reduced down a little bit. Now what we're going to do, like I said, if you're concerned about that you cooked the beef not well enough, we're going to put these pieces into the Au Jus, and that's going to kind of cook it a little bit more on the outside, but not drastically. And then we're going to make our sandwiches. I would recommend either Swiss cheese or provolone cheese. Just like that, guys. Let me let that sit for a second. We'll be back. We'll put these sandwiches together. I got a nice toasted bun here. Take some of that delicious beef. Just layer it on there. Make sure it gets some of that gravy to soak up into the bun. I like to use a little bit of horseradish sauce on there. Kind of kick it up a little bit. And then either provolone or Swiss cheese, whatever you prefer. Let's stick this in the microwave, heat it up for just a minute. I'll show you how it looks like when it's all done. There you go, guys. I melted the cheese on top of that. Look at how delicious. Now I'm going to try it. Oh man, get a little of that gravy. I put a little bit of those onions on top too. Let me try this. Oh man. Woo. Wow, that is absolutely delicious. The horseradish too, perfect complement. Wow. Man, this is absolutely delicious. You guys definitely should check this out. Guys, once again, thanks for watching my video. If you like what you see, please like my video. Please check out some of my other videos, and hopefully see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Bye.